How's it going, my dudes? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about the Hermit King armaments, and in particular the EX armaments. So the Hermit King EX is going to be dropping on the 31st of January, which is just right around the corner. And along with the Hermit King EX release, there's also going to be a few other events running concurrently with the EX bosses, and that's going to be the co-op multi-boss event as well. I'm going to be talking about that in a later video. So for today, let's focus on the 3 new armaments that we can hope to obtain from the Hermit King EX shop. So first on the list, we have the Ocean Trench Shell Shield. This will be a 5-star water attribute armament, HP 848, attack 151, weapon skill for every water character in the party, water character's HP plus 2.5%, and while water character's HP is at or above 80%, that character's fire resistance goes up by 50%, so when you have a lot of HP, you have more fire resistance. While water character's HP is at or below 80%, that character's healing receive plus 10%. This is going to be quite a weird armament to me because for several reasons, right? This is so defensive that that's not really the goal of most players at this stage. Okay, when you're at Hermit King EX, you're not too bothered about tankiness, you're more focused on DPS. So this armament seems kind of weird. I feel like this should have been in the Hermit King Advanced difficulty armament itself. So I'm not too sure why this is even here. But anyway, my thoughts on this is that it's not really that good. Because if your HP is above 80%, you have fire resistance, but when you're below 80%, you no longer have fire resistance, but instead you heal a little bit more. It seems kind of weird to me. I don't really know how to use this armament that well. I don't even see myself using it in the first place, so I'll probably not even try to max this out at all. But do let me know down in the comments if there's any specific use for this. Perhaps maybe there's going to be some very difficult fire boss in the future where this shield becomes useful. So let me know down in the comments. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. This is the Ocean Trench Scissor Claw. This is not a bad armament. This is pretty good in my book. It's going to be a water 5-star armament, HP 688, attack 183. Weapon skill for every water character in the party. Own attack buff duration plus 5%. So this works really well with, let's say, Sonya or Celine or even Rimnis. So selfish characters that increase their own attack buff duration. Well, okay, Celine is not really a selfish character in that sense, but these characters generally benefit a lot from this effect. And also, if Self is a water character, own attack plus 50% based on the number of attack buffs on Self up to 250%. So if you have 5 attack buffs, you cap it off at 250%. This is really huge. So okay, even though this armament looks super cool and super strong, there is always going to be that comparison between this armament and of course the Malted. So will you logically reasonably use this in place of the Malted? In most cases, probably not, because the Malted is super easy to activate. You just need to have piercing, which you should have if you're running a direct attack team, because there is Rimnis and there is Rain, whichever you're using, those will work. But I do see myself possibly using this in a water skill damage team. So in a water skill damage team, yes, you are still most likely going to be using a Viron, but you do not need to use a Rain that much. So if you do not have a Viron, you are probably able to use this armament instead. Honestly, I will still use an Adil, so this armament is still not going to be as effective as just simply running a Malted. But nonetheless, it is still a pretty good armament. So probably if you are moving away from selfish DA into maybe like 2 direct attack units on your water team. So like maybe right now, Celine is still kind of selfish in the sense that her skill only buffs her self-attack power and not everyone else. So it is possible to run Celine and Rimnis as 2 different direct attack units, and then therefore you can use both the Malted and the Ocean Trench Scissor Claw. So that's my opinion on this. But moving on to the final armament, this is the one that I am super interested in. This will be the Ocean Trench Thorn Blade. It is a water 5-star armament with 576 HP and an attack of 205. And the weapon skill for every water character in the party, water characters attack against enemies with poison debuff plus 25% up to 150%. So this is basically 150% extra attack. It goes into the attack multiplier against enemies with poison debuff. And water characters dealt direct damage to enemies with poison debuff goes up by 150% as well. So 2 different multipliers that's being affected over here, and both gains 150%. And not only that, this is a support armament. You don't need to use this on your leader, which means your leader can run a Malted, your leader can run an Ocean Trench Scissor Claw, that's fine. Or rather your main DPS. Okay, I shouldn't be using the word leader right now. I think a lot of people are moving away from the leader being the main DPS. So this armament is super exciting for me. This is definitely the armament that I'm going to max out as soon as I can. So if you have units like Sar, Suizan, or the new unit Mizuchi, this armament is going to be really effective for you and it's going to improve your DPS a lot. Doesn't matter whether you're running a direct attack team Even if you're running skill damage, yes, you're only going to benefit half of this effect, but still going to be pretty big. 150% attack power is very, very huge. So if you want to go crazy on poison, you can use Mizuchi and Suizan as two different mains, and you can also use Sar as a sub to your leader. So if you're running a skill damage team, you're going to be doing so much more damage to targets that are already poisoned. This can be something quite interesting. But anyway, that will be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Subscribe for more World Flipper content. And this has been Free to Play, by the way. And as always, I will see you in the next video.